All right, we'll call the meeting back to order and we'll just begin with our treasurer has one clarification to make on our budget presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In regards to the capital project, the purchase of the generator for Ye Old Town Hall, I was corrected during break. Ye Old Town Hall is not currently our emergency operation center alternate. It is currently the Elsa Craig Fire Station. That one is not adequate for a couple of reasons. One, washroom facilities are not appropriate, but mostly because in case of an emergency, the fire station will probably be used as a fire station. So it is not an appropriate alternate EOC. But the generator will make Ye Old Town Hall appropriate. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to department reports. And the first one is a report from the clerk on the bylaw enforcement services from Tenet Security Group.
Thank you, Your Worship. This report is a follow-up to the appointment of Tenet Security Group in September. Following that period, and it was suggested that a follow-up report be done once the new year began, which is the purpose of this report. Overall, the level of satisfaction is good with Tenet Security. There have been a few instances where we've reached out to them on a couple of issues, and it's been a day or two or three before they've gotten to them. But overall, we're pretty satisfied with the service, and we are recommending that they be authorized for a further 1-year extension of their agreement, which allows for 2 1-year extensions upon council approval.
Questions from council on the report? Adrian.
Thank you, Mayor Rob. Richard, I asked this question previously, and you may not know the answer, but I'm going to ask it again. Do you know if these people are equipped with handcuffs?
I have asked that question, and no, they are not.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Keel?
Thank you, Mayor Rob. Richard, have they been able to clear up some of the backlog and complaints that we have had?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the backlog is cleared up now.
Good.
All right. Any other questions? Want to apologize to Councillor Cornelison for not addressing them properly. Any other questions? Seeing none, we have a recommendation in front of us. Moved by Councillor Daigle, second by Councillor Irwin. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Our next one is a report from our drainage superintendent, municipal drain abandonment request for the Dixon Jacoby drain. Joanne, thanks for staying.
Mayor Rob and members of council, in front of you is a report for the municipal drain abandonment for part of the Dixon Jacoby drain. And the recommendation states that council received the abandonment request for part of the Dixon Jacoby drain and directs staff to proceed with the process of abandonment.
Questions from council? Councillor Cornelison.
Thank you, Mayor Rob. For the benefit of the viewing public, Joan, and I know you and I have talked about this before, is there any cost associated with this process to any of the abutting landowners?
To the abutting landowners,
Yes. I'm
not
talking
the
about-
landowners within the watershed.
Well, I'm talking about Alan Dixon, for example. He's part of the drainage system, his property.
He's not assessed, so no, he will not have any cost involved.
He did ask another question for me, and he asked about where his water would go as an outlet. Will it continue to flow through that drain?
No, it does not. He's not assessed in that watershed.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? We have a recommendation in front of us. What's your wish? Moved by Deputy Mayor Hodgins, seconded by Councillor Keogh. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. Thanks for staying. Passing of accounts. Estelle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The report in front of you outlines the expenses for the municipality for the period of December 16th through to the 31st, 2022, totaling $222,162.83. I open the floor to questions.
Questions? No questions? Moved by Counselor Canellison, seconded by Counselor Daigle. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. That was the easiest I've ever seen. Committee reports. Lake Huron Primary.
Starting tomorrow.
Excellent. Assault Bayfield.
We've not had a meeting this month. I believe our next meeting will be in February, so I don't really have anything to report. I would have a comment on the correspondence later, Mayor Rob.
Okay. All right, Blue Water Recycling,
Again, starting tomorrow.
same day.
Yes.
Oh. Economic Development. Was there anything, I see an email that came out that you got your members pretty well ready for the committee?
Yes, they've all put forward that they would like to join, the people that I've contacted, and tomorrow I'll be confirming with them that they're part of the committee. And we're looking at starting the meetings February 16th to be
Excellent.
every second month or every other month on the third Thursday of the month.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Look forward to it. Local School Advisory, anything there? Not right now yet. Recreation Committee. Policies. Fire Committee.
Yes, Mayor Rob. There has been a slight change in the terms of reference. Where originally there was 2 voting members of council and Mayor Rob as an attendee as well. He will now also have voting rights on our fire committee as well.
So
Do we need
we're
council,
asking,
do we need council approval for that, Mayor Rob?
we need, I think our clerk would put that together, correct? Change it.
Through your worship, the terms of reference will have to be amended.
But you will amend them and then do they have to come back to council for approval?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Budget Committee, nothing, there isn't one. Community Development Fund, what is the date of that meeting? Do we know the date of that meeting? Sorry.
Your worship, if you remember, it was going to be set and then Councillor Neerta explained that she was going to be away, so there was no date set.
Okay. We got it. As soon as we can, we'll have to get that set when she gets back. Okay. Thank you. Oh, okay. And Aqua Client Advisory Board, nothing there. Correspondence. Loyalist Township and all those other townships about Bill 23 now proclaimed into law. Lake of Bays Township, Town of Coburg, opposition to Bill 3, strong mayors, and it's proclaimed into law. Lanark County resolution to declare intimate partner violence an epidemic. Town of Plimpton, Wyoming requests that CN Rail participate in the Drainage Act.
I'd like to support that, Mayor Rob. I know we
Support
don't
it.
have any railroad in our municipality, however, there are strength in numbers.
Okay, motion by Councillor Keough, seconded by Councillor Daigle. Discussion on it? In favor? In favor?
Support.
Yep.
Carried. City of Kingston Resource Recovery and Circular Economy Act 2016, request for penalties regulation. Municipality of Tweed, regulate natural gas bills to levels that are affordable. LaSalle Bayfield Conservation Authority, PGMN monitoring well. Park Hill Conservation Area and McGuffin Hills Climate Change Station. And I have Jaden speaking to this first. Let Jaden speak to this and then you can make your comments. Go ahead, Jaden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you. I was hoping to connect with the Conservation Authority in advance just to provide some more information on this, but I was unable to. But I'll just give a couple of points about these letters we received. So the Conservation Authority notifies the municipality and affected landowners of any water quality parameter exceedances occurring in these provincial groundwater monitoring network monitoring wells. The standards have recently been strengthened, resulting in many of these exceedances. These notifications that we receive are just for information purposes only And if further action is required, it will be determined by the county health unit or the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks. It's also noted that these wells are for monitoring purposes only and do not supply drinking water to the municipal drinking water system. The three parameter exceedances were for arsenic and fluoride, and both of these are naturally occurring chemicals from bedrock and minerals and ores.
Councillor Canales.
I can only repeat what our infrastructure manager said, because that's exactly the information I got from the South of Bayfield earlier today.
Okay, all right. Any questions for either Jaden or Councillor Nelson on this? No questions? All right. That's the last of our correspondence. I don't think we need any motion for that because we dealt with them individually. Other and urgent business. Councillor Irwin.
I just want to share with council, last night or yesterday, the Economic Development Coordinator and myself attended a meeting with the Elsa Craig Village Association, which included service clubs and community organizations from Elsa Craig, Nairn, and Park Hill. In fact, I would say that there's probably 15 or more organizations there. And I wish everyone in council could have been at that meeting. It was an excellent meeting. They said it was one of the best meetings they've ever hosted. They were overwhelmed with the attendance, and there's a great desire from our community volunteers, service clubs, and organizations to work together. And I think we're going to have a very good 4 years in terms of working for community groups. I don't know if Natalie has anything she wants to add to that or not.
I would share your thoughts on that for sure. I was really impressed with the turnout and just the engagement in the community. And there was a lot of dialogue about sharing resources between Elsa Craig and Park Hill and the other communities within North Middlesex. So that was really encouraging. And we see that there are definitely going to be some good discussions and meetings coming out of that. So.
Well, good to hear. Maybe in our future meetings, we can attend, or some more of the council can attend. Excellent.
Well, I was invited.
That's all right. Jaden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you to council. Just wanted to provide a verbal update to council on the Park Hill Main Street construction project. So as of December 31st, 2022, the total value of work completed was $1.68 million, and this represents 21% of the total value of the project, which is $7.8 million. There have been a total of 24 contract change orders to date, with a cumulative cost impact of $31,000. We're fortunate that the winter weather has been mild and conditions have been favorable for construction, and making really good progress on the project. Currently, the new water main has been installed up to approximately Broadway Street. The portion between Park Hill Drive and Emily Street, which is where the food land is, has been tested and commissioned, and the remaining portion must still be tested and commissioned. In the coming weeks, the contractor will be moving into stage 3 of construction, which is on Elliott Drive between Elgin Field Road and West Park Drive. And they're also hoping to progress into stage 2, which is between Broadway Street and Elgin Field Road in the near future. We will have some meetings set up in the near future with the 3 schools and their bus operators to review access arrangements during construction. But generally, as the construction progresses, local access will be maintained and road closures will be implemented around the construction area. Currently, the project's still on schedule to be completed by the end of July 2023 and completed on budget. I do have some more detailed information to share with council about some tree removals in the next phase of construction. Meeting was held Tuesday, January 10th to review potential tree impacts in the next phase of construction between Broadway Street and Elgin Field Road. The meeting included representatives from North Middlesex, Middlesex County, the contractor, and our engineering consultant, including their certified arborist. Due to the new water main alignment, which is approximately under the east curb line, it's expected there will be extensive disturbance to the roots of trees, including root cutting, root severance, root compaction, and this will result in health decline and issues with the structural integrity of the trees. And this creates a future liability concern for the municipality. Additional issues observed include the following: We're widening sidewalks from 1.2 to 1.5 meters to meet current accessibility standards. And these sidewalk widenings will conflict with many of the existing trees, presenting challenges for proper sidewalk construction and tree root impacts. And there's also extensive mounding within the boulevards along Park Hill Main Street, which needs to be regraded to provide proper drainage towards the road. Regrading of the boulevard would be especially challenging around trees because the grade around tree trunks will need to be maintained to protect the roots. So as a result of that meeting, our certified arborist has recommended removal of 16 trees in the East Boulevard between Broadway and Ellen Street and Elginfield Road. And there's 1 tree in the West Boulevard. These trees are all located between the back of the curb and the sidewalk. In order to keep the Park Hill Main Street construction project progressing and to avoid costly delays, I'm recommending that these 17 trees be removed immediately. That is in the next week or two. The municipality would first arrange for notices to be delivered to all properties with a boulevard tree being removed in front of their property and allow for a period of questions and answers to the public. I'm further recommending that new trees be replanted in the boulevard in spring 2024 once the construction projects have been completed, and we'll work closely with the certified arborists to select the appropriate species of trees for this environment. So just wanted to bring that information forward to council. I can answer any questions.
I'm sure the rest. Councillor Canellis, you want to start?
Yes, I just want to make a comment if I may, Jaden. I think you're going to have a lot of upset property owners down Main Street, because I've already heard a number of people express concerns that the trees may be removed. So I think some people are going to be very, very disappointed.
Yeah, and I think it's certainly important to get that information out there in advance. Give people time to ask some questions. There is a lot of trees on private property on the other side of the sidewalk that will be maintained. In total, there was 145 trees that were assessed through the design of the project. So although there are those removals right directly to the water main, adjacent to the water main, there are a lot of trees on property that do maintain a good canopy as well, but I acknowledge your comments.
Just a comment to that. The other thing is, I mentioned to Jaden, going to make sure of our policy, but we had a policy that we will replace a tree. We will buy the tree for them to for our residents to plant on their property, not on the town property. So that's something we want to make sure that our residents know that as well. Other questions? Councillor Irwin.
Just timelines. So you want to remove the trees within the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, we do want to get this done in advance of contractor moving into the next phase.
So we want, if I can clarify your worship, we want to do a consultation next week and then the following week, cut the trees down.
That's correct.
That's not going to look good for council.
Yeah, and it's, like I say, consultation, we'll answer questions and make it clear, I guess, why these trees do have to be removed. But based on the recommendations of the arborist and the construction impacts, we do feel that this is going to be inevitable. So it's just, I guess, providing some information and advance notice.
All right. Councillor Daigle.
The trees themselves, was it ever looked at moving the water main into the center of the road? It's even the location on the curb side. If it breaks, we're digging up the road, we're digging up the curb. So the center of the road wouldn't, if that would preserve the trees.
Yeah, it's a great question. And we certainly looked at options for that. Unfortunately, there's minimum separation requirements for the water main alignment with respect to the existing sewers that we have to respect for the Ministry of Environment. So we have no opportunity to move the water main further into the roadway, unfortunately.
Deputy Mayor Hodgins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just Jaden, are the ones that are subject to removal, are they marked at this point in time? So the people do know that in front of their place, that's a possible one?
They're not marked at this time, but we do plan on doing that in conjunction with the letters. We wanted to bring this forward to council first as the first step. And then that would be coming up in the near future.
One final question. Is there anything that can be done to salvage these trees? Because I think it's an important component of our community and certainly from the appearance of the town. Is there anything that can be done?
Unfortunately, there's not anything that can be done to salvage these trees, no.
Estelle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In regards to the short notice, we can ensure through our communications officer to send out a blitz on all of our social media, advising individuals just to make sure that everyone is aware of what's going on and they have the opportunity to ask questions and what process to follow in order to ask their questions.
Okay. Councillor Daigle.
Just the question on the, we said we would give them a tree to plant on their own property. Are we talking a single sapling or are we talking a 20-foot tree, something that looks?
I don't know. I think that that's not really specified, but if council feels it should be a larger tree, I mean, there's a little added cost, but I think that would be some direction that would be appropriate. For Councillor Jayden, go ahead to that.
Yeah, with respect to the replanting, typically what you see post-construction, it's like a 50 millimeter, 60 millimeter caliper tree. So it's not just a sapling, but it's already well formed. It's a healthy tree that we will certainly work with the arborist to make sure they're good quality trees and sized appropriately.
Go ahead.
Approximately how tall a tree are we talking?
I'd say these new trees are 10 feet, 12 feet.
So we're talking a trunk of about an inch, inch and a half.
2 to 2.5 inches.
So I don't think we can do anything. We can't do anything about the trees going. I mean, if council feels that we should offer a larger tree or a better replacement. But it would be in this, it's not that we have to do it tomorrow because it is the spring. It's in the spring where they would be replaced. Well, on their own property, it could be before that. Right? Like if they're putting them on their own property, why couldn't they do it earlier? Like I would think they could do it when the work's done there in front of them and replace the tree earlier. But that's just. Any other, Councillor Irwin?
A few comments, if I may. One, I don't think a social media posting is adequate to inform the public. I think we need to have a delivery of a paper explaining this to every household on the street. That's one. Two, I would recommend this kind of report in future should be in writing to council and not verbal if we can do it, if we can, because this is the kind of issue that I think should be distributed and the public should have a chance to come to the council meeting to discuss these issues, because this is a pretty important issue for a lot of people, especially in the community where we had a planning meeting today about preserving the character of a neighborhood in one part of our community, and now we're talking about the character of the neighborhood in another. And trees are really important to the character for a lot of people of their neighborhoods, if I can say that. And three, let's not call this a consultation, because it's not a consultation. We're informing the public of an action we're going to take. A consultation means that there's an opportunity for the public to give us input that will help craft the final decision. We're talking about a decision today, and then we're going to inform the public. It is not a consultation, right? So we can't call it a consultation.
No, but to your point of a letter going out, I believe, Jayden, that you mentioned that, putting it to each house along there, having some, it isn't just going to be social media. They are putting a letter out to each house.
I'm not going to argue with your worship. I thought I heard social media, but I think it needs.
Well, they said that as well.
Yeah.
They said that as well. In addition.
So my apologies. Okay.
Okay.
And I apologize because I just heard social media. So
Unfortunately, there's a reality that the trees have to go. But we can do what we can to help at least complement replanting with appropriate trees. I didn't say I liked it. I just said that's the realities. Any other questions on this? All right, any other business? Councilor Daigle.
I was just wondering, is there any further on the lighting at the water tower?
Okay. Yeah, do we know anything yet? We got an answer on that?
Yeah, there has been an item added to deferred matters, and there will be a report coming back to council next meeting on February 1st.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, any other business from anyone? I'll just end it then with on the high note that congratulations to Jocelyn Amos, not Amos, Jocelyn Amos and her teammates for once again doing such a great job, and congratulations to them all. Yeah. All right, deferred items are in front of us. As you said, there'll be a report on the lighting at the next meeting. Communications, including county council. I think the biggest thing, well, the one that will come up, a little bit more information on the Blacks Bridge is that they plan to have the old bridge out by April so that they can start the rebuild in the spring. But they plan to have the old bridge out by then. The other thing with county council, I want to have, there was a report from housing, an independent study that was reported yesterday. And I think we'll just have that forwarded to council. The whole study, all of that, because it was worthwhile. But as I said, what they called affordable housing was $572 and less for a house. But anyways, it's a good read. It's a good, but so we'll have that come through to all of council, I think, as move forward. Is there any questions for the county right now? If not, we'll move on to the reading of the bylaws.
Thank you, Worship. There are 8 bylaws on the agenda for tonight. It's only list 6, but there's actually 8. And the first bylaw is the official plan amendment number 14. That's 01 of 2023. 02 of 2023 is to amend the committee appointments. 03 of 2023 is to appoint a municipal weed inspector. 04 of 2023 is to amend the assessment schedule for actual costs and bill out the Hill Cunningham Municipal Drain 2021. 05 of 2023 is to amend the assessment schedule for actual cost and bill out the K Robinson Municipal Drain 2021. 06 of 2023 is user fees and charges. 07 of 2023 is interim tax levy. And 08 of 2023 is the council proceedings for tonight.
First and second reading. Councillor Keogh, Councillor Daigle, all in favor. Third and final. Deputy Mayor Hodgins and Councillor Canellison, all in favor. Carry. At this time, we would like to go into closed and is advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that